Kyler Murray chose the NFL over baseball earlier this week. Now the attention is on how high he'll go in the draft. Kyler is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, but a lot of critics are focused on his 5'10" stature. Kyler's agent called out the critics recently on a Barstool Sports podcast, saying, quote, the NFL dinosaurs that are talking about the things he can't do are losers. Rob?
Was he talking about me?
We're not calling you a dinosaur. But do you think that Kyler should be upset with the criticism about his height?
Yeah. No, he shouldn't. He has to accept it. It is his height. We understand. We talked about it, Greg. You were just talking about John Elway picking quarterbacks who look like him in size. So that's a part of what goes on. But all of the mock drafts and stuff coming out say he's going to be a first-round pick. So it's not like he's totally being overlooked or people aren't even considering him. So I don't even understand why this would come out and why his agent would put it out so people can look and say, what? You know, what's going on? This is what people do when they judge people. Chris, we talk about it all the time. You nitpick, right? If you're going to make somebody a first-round pick, Greg, don't you nitpick at him and look and say, okay, he can do this, he can do that, but can he do that? Does he have the right speed? Does he have the right size? Is his weight right? This is what people do when you start to evaluate people. So they're not treating him unfairly or doing something that other people wouldn't get when you're going to be a top pick in the NFL draft. He's already gotten a lot of respect. We mentioned it over and over. He has a chance to be the first player to be drafted in the first round in two sports, baseball and football. It's never happened in the history of this country. So do they respect him as a player? Absolutely. Can people question whether or not his height is going to be an issue in the league? Absolutely. That's what analysts do. That's what scouts do. His agent is way off base.
Yeah, he shouldn't be concerned about the criticism. You can't focus on all of that. And what the agent is doing is making matters worse. Not for his draft status, but just simply for Kyler Murray. Like, he doesn't need this type of attention. He doesn't care about them talking about his height. He understands how tall he is, 5'9", a buck 95,
right,
soaking wet. Nobody's really saying he can change that. We know he can't change that, but one thing I know that he can do is play football. And in football, there's this idea that, you know what, only one team needs to like me. There's only one team needs to say, I don't care, I'll give him a shot. So with the agent calling out all these NFL dinosaurs, so what? If some of these owners and these general managers in these teams say, yeah, I'm not going to touch him, so what? There's 32 options. And if you think that all 32 of these teams are going to pass on a talent like Kyler Murray, when everybody is going, I gave you guys the stats of the shotguns. Offenses are run out of shotgun. The offensive snaps in the National Football League, 67% are out of shotgun. So his height has no bearings in that. No one cares about the height after you're under center or unless you're under center. Well, with 67%, almost 70% of snaps being from shotgun, Kyler Murray is in this new evolution of NFL. We're not in the dinosaur days of NFL where you're playing under center. So why are you even entertaining this? As an agent, you understand where you alluded to it. Like, he's projected to go in the first round.
But there's a lot of money at stake.
No, I get that, but you bring in a whole nother side of issues or topics or questions that now I as a player have to answer because of you opening your mouth. Like, look, as an agent, you know, all it takes is one team. So you shouldn't even concern yourself with all 32 teams. You're not going to all 32 teams in the first place.
If there was like a stream of GMs, right, that said, no, I wouldn't take him in the first round under any circumstance, then maybe I could see where you would push back. But that's not what we've heard.
No. But you also don't need to push back with the term losers. I mean, these are guys you want to employ your client, okay? And even if they don't draft you, maybe you end up there in the future. So this quote,
another client.
Yeah, this quote, I don't know who his agent is, but this quote makes me think his agent is like a 22-year-old that just got out of college.
It's a little
or dropped out.
Yeah.
It's immature, it's childish. Now, the fact that he said it on Barstool, maybe he got caught up within the language and, you know, and all that. The
You're trying to say they're not reputable?
Atmosphere. Well, they just, you know, they just talk, they don't talk professional language, you know, so they're cursing and stuff like that. So maybe he got caught up in all of that. But this was not a good look. And unfortunately, it can reflect negatively on Kyler. I mean, I get the sentiment behind what he's saying, as you pointed out, with the shotgun, with the RPOs. It's a different NFL. He could have brought up something like, look, Kyler's already done something that basically nobody his size has done. I don't know about forever, but since 2000, of the 16 quarterbacks that won the Heisman, only Kyler was under 6 feet tall. So you could talk about things like that, like put that in teams is, you know, on their plate and let them think about that. He's already proven that this is a once-in-a-generation type kid because he won the Heisman at his size. It's not just the NFL where short quarterbacks have struggled. College, too, to a lesser degree, but still, they've struggled. So you can point out things like that rather than going at people who know football. No matter how bad we may say a GM is or a team president or a coach, they know football.
That's their business.
Right. And so for somebody to just come out of the blue, an agent, and criticize him like that just wasn't a good move.
It's just counterproductive to what the message that even Kyler Murray had put out, saying, I'm locked in on football, I'm choosing football, I'm passionate about football. Then at the end of his statement, he went on to say, I want to show all NFL decision makers that I am the franchise quarterback. Yeah. All NFL decision makers that I am the franchise quarterback. He's not saying I am a franchise, I am the guy. Right. And you're saying, he's saying that to all decision makers. And then your agent comes out and he says, all these NFL dinosaurs.
Right.
Like, come on, you can't do that. I just put out a statement making sure that they understood how adamant and how real I am about football and how committed I am about football, fully committed, may I add. And you just go and do this?
Right. It came off really bad. It sounded like someone who's immature, maybe hadn't had a star player or something before because they didn't know how to handle the situation. I agree. It should have been positive stuff rather than about what he had done. You could have
said the same
rather
thing
than ripping on
a much more professional.
Exactly.
You don't even have to acknowledge that because we look, we know the NFL is evolving. We know that these smaller quarterbacks, look, it's been proven the year before. Johnny Manziel. Look at him. The Cleveland Browns, they had a plan.
Baker Mayfield.
I'm sorry, I said Johnny Manziel. Baker Mayfield.
Well, but they got him. It didn't work out, but they drafted him.
But Baker Mayfield last year, he's the template. Like the Cleveland Browns, nobody thought that the Cleveland Browns were going to pick Baker Mayfield. Everybody had Baker Mayfield third and fourth on their draft profile when it came to quarterbacks. They had Sam Darnold and all these other guys in front of him, but Cleveland Browns didn't care. The Cleveland Browns didn't care. It takes one team, and that's why I'm like, you're an agent. You know these things. Why would you even challenge all of the teams? It only takes one.
And you have the blueprint.
Do you think that would hurt his draft order, the way where he would go?
No, I don't.
Comments?
What the agent said?
I don't think it's gonna hurt. I don't think it's gonna hurt him because he didn't say it.
That guy, right? It didn't come out of his mouth.
It didn't come out of his mouth. And sometimes, look, let's be honest. Agents say things to where they think that they're gonna advance our position.
That's a mistake.
And sometimes they hurt it. And in this instance, I don't think he hurt his position as where he can get drafted. But you didn't hurt his stance or you didn't help him in a sense of putting this out versus what I said in my statement, to make sure all NFL decision makers know that I am the guy that you're looking for.
We probably won't hear from that agent again. Like, I bet you there's a conversation with his family.
If we do,
well, I was
you know what I mean?
If he kept saying stuff like this, what it would do is make you question Kyler's decision making to some degree.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy you have represent. You'll let one time go. But if he keeps doing it,
you don't want your
I doubt you'll hear from him.
This. Guys, are the Celtics somehow better without Kyrie Irving? Former Celtics legend Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba, he's going to be here to answer that question next.
And I won't back down.